students. You are all welcome to the day 3 aspect of our one question per day series. And in this day 3, we'll be looking at question on development. So quickly, here we have a table, and we have countries, and there are development indicators for these 6 countries and data. Now, the first question here is, they said we should identify the country from table 5.1 where the people have the poorest access to doctors. So where is number of doctors? If you look at it, the country with the least value is this, which is 3.6. So you just write down the name of the country there. That's all. Then what is meant by Panama have a female literacy of 94.9. That means, literacy is the number of people that can read and write. That means the number of women or female that can read and write is up to 94.9%. So that's it. 94.9% of women or girls in Panama can read and write. That's all for the 2 marks. Next, we have this rank order question. They said, put the following countries in rank order according to their use of energy per person, per year, the number of doctors, and female literacy. So we have these 4 countries here. Now, use of energy per person per year, from the highest to the lowest. So you have to go back to the table. So you use the table to rank these countries. So let's see, Libya. These countries are Libya, Slovakia, Thailand. So Libya, what the first one is energy use per person. Okay, so Libya, Slovakia, Thailand, and this. So I think Slovakia is first, then Libya, then Thailand, then that will be the last one. So Slovakia, you just arrange it to be Libya, Slovakia, Thailand, and that is the rank order from highest to lowest. Come, let me still check this. No, I think Slovakia should be the first, then before Libya. That should be the rank order, sorry. So there's a mistake here. So it should be Slovakia, Libya, Thailand, and Guatemala. That's how it should be arranged. The number of doctors. So you just come back to, you look at number of doctors and you arrange it in that same order. I think the highest here is still Slovakia, followed by the same Libya. Then, but however, Guatemala come third, then Thailand last. Then female literacy, I think Slovakia is still first, followed by Thailand, then Libya, then Guatemala still comes last. So that's all you need to do here to get your full mark. Now, the next question here is, suggest the development indicator shown in table 5.1 which are most useful to measure economic and social development, and you give reasons for your choice. Now, this type of question is quite easy. You just come back to your table. Now, if you say GDP per person and use of energy per person are all economic indicator. However, but number of people per doctor and female literacy are social indicator. And what are the reasons? Is that the GDP per capita will be used to measure the wealth of people within that area, within the country. But if you look at number of doctors and female literacy, its percentage is just, it will help you to know the number of female that are educated. It will help you to know the mean age of schooling. So those are just the reasons, and that's all you need there for that 4 mark. You see GDP and use of energy per person, and the reason is that it measures the amount of country production or wealth or output generated, so that makes it an economic indicator. Female literacy and number of doctors, so you find out that female literacy is a good indicator of social blah blah blah. Now, as it is an indication of equality, it measures education access, how long they go to school for in that particular country. So that makes it a social indicator. So you need to take note about that description. So no matter the indicator you pick, if you pick female literacy or number of doctors, the description there is related to social development. Now we have a question here, which is the B part. There's a study figure 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3 insert. And insert photograph showing places where people are employed. Now identify the photograph where each of the following type of employment are available. First, primary employment. I think if you look at here, what you're doing is farming, and that's quite a primary employment. So figure 5.2 is primary. Then secondary employment, I think this is a manufacturing plant. You can see wood there, so possibly lumbering activities. Wood is being processed. So that should be a secondary employment. And tertiary, obviously figure 5.1 is a tertiary uh, employment. So that's all. You just select, you get your 3 marks. Then let's move. Now they say describe the relationship, describe and explain. There are 2 things here which you should take note of, and it's a 5-mark question. They say describe and explain the relationship between the level of development of a country and its employment structure. So you need to describe and you need to explain. Explanation there is for you to give reasons, while description is to just say what is actually happening, and then when you explain, you give reasons why it is happening. Now if you look at this question, the level of development of a country, how it changes, and its employment structure. So you are relating 2 things: employment structure, level of development. So you find out that an LEDC have more people employed in the primary sector. Now as a country develop, then you find out that it switches from primary to tertiary economy, and most MEDCs are in tertiary structure of employment. Then you find out that as a country develop, it moves from primary to secondary. So the secondary, from primary will decrease, the secondary will increase, but as development continues, the secondary itself will now decrease for tertiary to continue with it. Now, so if you look at the answers from the syllabus, descriptions such as development increase, primary employment decreases. Also, as development increase, tertiary employment increases. Now, if you look at that, the MEDC have high tertiary, while LEDC have high primary. Now, as development increases, also secondary employment increases, then it decreases later for tertiary to take over. Now, what are the reasons for this employment changes as a country develop? That is the explanation now. Now, if you look at this, the explanation is that mechanization takes place. So when automation is there, there will be reduction in the number of people employed in the primary sector, and it will move to secondary. Now, skill and education increases. So most people don't want to work in the primary sector anymore. They move from primary to in tertiary and quaternary sector. Then when there is exhaustion of minerals and raw materials, it will reduce the primary sector. And when there is now import of product, of primary and secondary product, most people will now move to tertiary for employment. And when there's increase in wealth and demand for more services, obviously your tertiary sector will increase. You can pause this and read over it again. Then the last question here is describe the advantages and disadvantages of LEDCs of a named transnational corporation you have studied. Now, the TNCs we are using here is Coca-Cola. So you look at the advantages and disadvantages of it, and everything is captured here, including data, including place specific reference. You can see Coca-Cola significantly boosts economic development by creating direct and indirect jobs. That's an advantage, with over 700,000 employees globally and extensive support for suppliers. That's development, so that will give you 2 marks. Now, Coca-Cola has strengthened economies in regions like South Africa. We are bringing in place specific reference. where it employs over 9,000 people and support 58,000 more jobs. In Kenya, it sources for fruit, so it supports local agriculture there too. Then Coca-Cola corporate social responsibility program like Brazil, blah blah blah. It aid education, health, and employment for undeserved community. However, so when you see however there, we are now switching to disadvantage. So you see plastic pollution, uh health issues, and the rest. So you can just read through it and take down notes, summarize it. So if you get question like this and you structure your answer in this format, you definitely get your 7 mark. So thank you so much. See you in day 4.